जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरा वनचारे। यमुनतीरा वनचारे। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरा वनचारी। यमुनतीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरा वनचारी। यमुनतीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरा वनचारी। यमुनतीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Tagore Premanandi, Hare Go, Devam Vishnupad, Brahmans, Paraviraj, Gajara, Stotra, Satasya, Srimati, Jivangesi, Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Devam Vishnupad, Brahmans, Paraviraj, Gajara, Stotra, Satasya, Srimati, Jivangesi, Bhakti Siddhanta, Sarkar Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचर हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनामयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhanam. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharanya Visesha Sunyavadi Panchantare Tarane. Thank you very much for joining. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, new chapter. Contents of Gita summarized. Chapter 2. Today we are beginning with in the most auspicious Purushottam month, August 5th. We have till August 15th, the last day of Purushottam month, very auspicious. Let's use it very carefully to increase our bhakti sukruti, bhakti credits. Verse number 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Chapter 2, verse number 1. I will say, I think we'll cover maybe 3-4 verses only, because time will be short otherwise. Sanjay Vacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Asru Purnakule Kshanam Visidandam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Pay attention to the word Madhusudana. That is important. Sanjay Vacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Asru Purnakule Kshanam Visidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Sanjay Vacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Asru Purnakule Kshanam Visidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Word to word. Sanjay Vacha, Sanjay said, Tam unto Arjuna, Tata thus, Kripaya by compassion, Avishtam overwhelmed, Asru Purnakula full of tears, Ikshanam eyes, Visidantam lamenting, Idam these. That is also important. Yeah, Kripaya also important, and Visidantam also important in this chapter, in this verse. Idam these Vakyam words, Uvacha said, Madhusudana, the killer of Madhu. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Let's repeat. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Verse number 2. First time Lord Lord is being called here. First chapter we haven't seen. This is the first time. That's why Vyasdev is speaking here. Vyasdev is writing. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastva Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Anarya is the important word in this verse. Sri and Bhagavan Vacha also. Sri Bhagavan Vacha कूटस्त्वाकस्मलमिदम् विषमे समुपास्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टम् अस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन श्रीभगवानुवाच कूटस्त्वाकस्मलमिदम् विषमे समुपास्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टम् अस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन. Even Kashmalam is also important. That is dirtiness, impurities, lamentation, illusion, all those are the meanings of that. What word? Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Kuta, where from? Tva, unto you. Kasmalam, dirtiness. Idam, this lamentation. Vishame, in the hour of crisis. Samupastitam, arrived. Anarya, persons who do not know the value of life. Justam, practiced by. Asvargam, which does not lead to the higher planets. Akirti, infamy. Karam, the cause of. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation by Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy. Verse number 3. क्लैब्यमास्मागमपार्थ नैतत् त्वयि उपपाद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप क्लैब्यमासमागमपार्थ नैतत् त्वयि उपपाद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप क्लैब्यमासमागमपार्थ नैतत्त्वयि उपपाद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप क्लैब्यमासमागमपार्थ नैतत्त्वयि उपपाद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप. Claibium, impotence. Masma, do not. Gama, take to. Pardha, Osana, Prutha. Na, never. Etat, this. Tvayi, unto you. Upapadyate is befitting. Shudram, petty. Hridaya, of the heart. Dorbalyam, weakness. Tektva, giving up. Muttishta, get up. Parantapa, O chastiser of the enemies. Translation by Prabhupada. O Sanaprutha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Please repeat. O Sanaprutha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. More words, that's it. अर्जुनोवाच कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदन. अगेन मधुसूदन. इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदन. वरिसूदन. Another word. अर्जुनोवाच कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदन. इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदन. Arjuna vacha katam bhishmam aham sankhe dronam cha madhusudana Ishubi prati uchami pujarha varisudhana. Arjuna vacha, Arjuna said, Katam, how? Bhishma, aham I. Sankhe, in the fight, Drona, cha also, Madhusudana, O killer of Madhu, Ishubi, with arrows. Prati uchami, shall counterattack. Pujarha, those who are worshipable. Arisudana, O killer of the enemies. Translation by Prabhupada. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? I repeat. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? So we'll try to understand this verse. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Garoja Vacharam Pangum Langete Grim Yatkrupatamam Vande Sri Gurum Devataram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhayeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sri Chaitanya Mahavishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaura Bhakta Ki Jai. Thank you for joining. So we are beginning with chapter 2 here, contents of Gita summarized. And we see the context from the chapter 1. The situation is such that Arjuna is full of grief and full of lamentation, fear, illusion, didn't know what to do. He was in one sense, in one term, identity crisis. He didn't know what is his identity. But mostly he was in the thinking. He was relating with his family, extended family. Then he was not too sure what he should do, what is his real identity. So that was the position in which the chapter 2 starts. That's when Arjuna sat down on the chariot on the battlefield, even though he is the one who asked Lord Krishna. Remember, see that when somebody asks, okay, let's go somewhere, and then it takes us all the way there. Oh, now I don't know what to do. That will be a precarious condition. Right? If somebody takes all the way somewhere very distant, and then they decide, they tell that I don't know why did I bring you here, or why I asked you to come here. So that is the case here. Lord Krishna is a chariot. Lord Krishna has taken the position, an important position as a chariot driver. Lord Krishna is infallible, Achyuta, but he has taken the most significant position because it's always Lord is reciprocating with the devotees. Bhava Grahi Janardana is seeing what is the intention, what is the consciousness with which we are acting, we are feeling, we are relating with him. So that's what he's looking at. And then he is reciprocating accordingly. So that's why here Arjuna is completely bewildered, lamenting on the deep bodily attachment. So that's why Lord Krishna is about to speak to induce him. Till now, he didn't speak a single word. The whole first chapter 1. So he has asked in the middle, 17 or so, chapter 1. Senayor Avyor Madhye Radham Sthavaya Me Achyuta. Oh Achyuta, oh infallible Lord. Lord wants to be controlled by his devotees. That is the superior position. People want liberation, people want different things, but Lord wants to be controlled by his pure devotees. Like he wants to be controlled by his Sridham, Subal, Madhumangal, Stok, Krishna, and various his cowherd boys. Cowherd boys are always wants to be with Krishna. They want to be in front with Krishna. They want to be always seeing Krishna. They want to touch him first. And so they cannot go anywhere without Krishna. So even when Krishna is walking, they want to be with Krishna. They want to see Krishna and walk. They don't want to be behind. They don't want to go walk further in the front either. They want to see Krishna and then they won't do anything. That's how much they are attached. And Krishna also wants to be attached in the same way. That reciprocation is always like that. That's why Krishna is mentioning Mad Bhakta Puja Abhyadika. The more important worship is my worshipping my devotees. Because he is so much attached to his pure devotees. That's why Lord is even more interested to see who is actually following my pure devotees, who is actually attached to my pure devotees. Like that in big circles always. Like if somebody is attached to his servant, is representing somebody brings another friend that is my here is my friend, then immediately that person, even the prime minister, chief minister, big position, but immediately accepts because his close friend is referring someone. Then immediately whatever he says, immediately he will accept. And that's how Lord Krishna also he is looking towards his devotees. So immediately accept whatever they present. Qualified, not qualified, he will not look. So that's why as soon as Mother Radharani presents to Lord Krishna, finished. Then Lord Krishna has no other choice, no looking back, what he has done for me, nothing. So, but if somebody is directly presenting to Krishna, for sure, he's going to ask, like Durvasa asking Krishna, you are you are Swarat, you are self-sufficient, you are Abhigna, you know everything, you are independent. Please stop this Sudarshan Chakra coming behind me to kill me. It's causing great stress, great anxiety, great fear. And I can't tolerate the heat of Sudarshan Chakra. Please stop this because you are the one who released. So you can do it because you are independent. You have the power. He said, no, 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 I am not independent. Aswatantra hi jana. Bhaktair Bhakta Jana Priya. Sadhuvir Grasta Hodayo. Aham Bhakta Paradino. That is the first line. Aham Bhakta Paradino. Not even Adina. Adina means control. Paradina means even superiorly controlled. That's why he has become charity. Otherwise, no one. Imagine if somebody gives us that position, generally no one will like. In this world, that is the biggest problem. No one wants to be a servant. Everybody wants to be a master. That's why this material world is created. For those who wants to be the master, who wants to be the enjoyer, who wants to be the Krishna. So that's why this material world is created. So that was the position in which here Arjuna wants to not following, even though he brought the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona in front of Kaurava's army in the middle. He wants to see who and all are assembled, who wants to fight with Kauravas, Pandavas. But as soon as he saw, completely lost the purpose, he lost the duty, he lost the actual Shastra Chakshu, uh, the vision of the self-realized soul, vision of the Shastra, and he forgot to even follow the instruction of Lord Krishna because he accepted. All I want is you. As long as you are there with me, then I don't need anybody. I don't want your Narayan Sena. I don't want anybody else, anything else. No opulence. I want just you. That means you want Lord Krishna's guidance. But now by seeing this attachment, then ignorance, then immediately ignorance has come about. So that's why now we'll see that in this chapter how Lord Krishna interestingly uh, instructs Arjuna and what position. This is also very important instruction. In what condition Arjuna, Lord Krishna reciprocate, Lord Krishna interacts or gives intelligence or replies with more. He is replying to everybody, whether theist or atheist, believe or not believe, he is supplying to everybody. He is not envious of any living entity. People think like that. Why Krishna is doing, this or that? Why bad things are happening to good people? Or why bad things are happening if God is there? God doesn't exist. These are the questions people have. So no father likes, no mother likes to see their kids suffering. Genuine father or mother or guardian, parent, teacher, no one wants their students, disciples, kids to suffer. They all want them to strive forward, make a progress, become a nice, cultured boy, cultured girl, and cultured disciple, and become a pure devotee of the Lord. That's what Lord wants. That's what Guru wants. Actually, what Guru wants, actually, what spiritual master wants, Acharya wants. They want to see the disciple to become a pure devotee, disciple to become the ardent devotee of the Lord, Lord Krishna. So that's what the spiritual master wants. So that's why he's instructing again and again to purify the disciple to come to bring him or bring her to the up to that level. That is main thing. So now let's before going dwelling too much into the verses, let's look at the sections so that we understand the context of this chapter, how it is laid out. So that's we have to look at the verses and the instructions and apply our intelligence a little bit so that way we understand properly. So chapter 2 is called contents of Gita summary, but it's also called Sankhya Yoga. So this chapter has 5 sections. We are in the first section today. 1 to 10 is one section where it has been explained as more doubts. Arjuna already expressed his doubts in the previous chapter. Now the continuation is there further. Then only surrendering. That's why Krishna never spoke, never gave any instruction, never even uttered a single word till now. In chapter 1, there is no instruction, no Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Only Sanjay Vacha, Arjuna Vacha, Dhritarashtra Vacha, all this. But no Krishna, no Bhagavan Vacha. This is the first time. That's why the whole purport in this second verse, Prabhupada is explaining all about Bhagavan. So 1 to 10 is more doubts. Arjuna's further doubts and surrender. That is the first section. And then next section is 11 to 30. Now Lord Krishna is describing this section is called Gnana or fight. There is no death for the soul, or is also called Sankhya Yoga. So there is a slight difference between the other Sankhya Yoga, but here Sankhya Yoga and Bhagavad Gita. And the next section, third section, is 31 to 38. It's called Karma Kanda, or fight by performing prescribed duty. If you see the pattern, let's come to the next fourth section, 39 to 53. This is a big section, 72 verses. Like 18 chapter is also big, but this chapter also big. 31 to 38 is Karma Kanda, fight by performing prescribed duty. Fourth section, 39 to 53, Buddhi Yoga, Nishkama Karma, also called. And Buddhi Yoga, fight without any reactions. If you see the pattern, last section, 54 to 72, bigger section. Samadhi, are also called Sthita Prajna, are also called fight, become fixed in Krishna consciousness. So, what is the pattern you are seeing? Lord Krishna wants Arjuna and all of us wants to make sure we are performing the duty. He never saying in Bhagavad Gita, renounce your duty, run away from the problems. He never said. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, rather Krishna called out, no, that is actually sinful activity. You are running away from problem because it's too difficult. Yes, without putting efforts, austerity, tolerance, you can't achieve much in even the material life. So you have to tolerate it. So that's why you will see all these sections clearly laying out that fight is always fight, fight again. All the sections pretty much uh, inducing, Lord Krishna is inducing Arjuna to fight. So in this way, 5 sections are laid out. Now the first verse we see here, Sanjay Vacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Asru Purna Kulekshanam Visidantam Vidam Vakyam Vacha Madhusudana. So the first important point is here is Kripaya Vishtam Asru Purna Kulekshanam. So Visidantam, the lamentation, that is the important point here. Arjuna is in lamentation or illusion or ignorance. So that is the important. That is the whole chapter. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describing this. The whole purpose of this second chapter is how the living entities or Arjuna in this case to Krishna's purpose is to destroy the darkness or bewilderment and lamentation of Arjuna by distinguishing the soul and from body. So that's why by distinguishing that body and soul and bringing him to the platform of self-realization. That is the whole purpose. That's why he begins with that Sankhya Yoga, explaining the body and soul differences, and then gradually bringing him. The last section goes to self-realization because that is the ultimate. But he cannot directly talk about self-realization. First, the basics has to be talked about. Then the next basics. That's the Sankhya Yoga. Then the Karma Yoga. Then the Nishkama Karma Yoga. then you have adhikar to understand self-realization. Otherwise, it's very difficult to come to that highest level, advanced. And that's why 10th, intermediate, degree, and PhD, like that. So, because there's all of a sudden somebody gives PhD knowledge, you can't understand. It's too deep, too intense. So that's why Krishna is beginning slowly here. That is the main purpose of how Arjuna can be delivered or liberated from this current conditioning, lamentation and bewilderment. So in this case, the first sign is we are seeing is the material compassion. Why Arjuna is lamenting? The first and foremost is the sign of ignorance is seen by how one is material has material compassion for his body and his extended body, the family is looking out only in one box, the gross body, is not looking beyond. So many times we have to look beyond. You are going to buy a today home or open a business, whatever the case. Our children want to put them in a school or college. Generally, we should think a little ahead of the game, not just today or few months. In general, ideally, 1 year down the line, what is our future? Uh, so yeah, now we'll come to that. How we can remove that. That is the important point in this verse in this section. So that's why here Madhusudana is used because material compassion and lamentation is caused by ignorance. So how it can be avoided, how it can be removed, Lord Krishna himself will directly address that, answers that, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also answers that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So why the word Madhusudana is used because Arjuna understanding that position already Mother Saraswati. That's why we pray. Why when we speak Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, before that we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vak because who's right? This is son of Vasudev. We are glorifying the Lord, beginning with that, and then how can we draw the mercy? How can we understand? First, we have to understand from the teacher. Who is the teacher here? Sukadeva Goswami is the one who is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Nara Narayan Rishi, Vyasdev has received knowledge from Narada Muni. Narada Muni received from Nara Narayan Rishi and also Lord Brahma also. So that's why we pray because unless we pray to the teacher who is actually writing, who has given this knowledge of Vyasdev, Nara Narayan Rishi and Mother Saraswati, that's why Narayan Namaskucha, that verse we sing so that we are submitting to them, we are seeking the mercy, we're drawing the intelligence from them so that we understand in a right way. And so here, and that's a Madhusudana is used to basically is telling how he has demons of doubts are opposing him to not to do his duty. He's forgetting his position, forgetting his identity, forgetting his duty. So that's why he's using Madhusudana word. Mother Saraswati brings automatically. That's why nothing is by chance happens in this world. Everything happens. Anything happening in this in our life is not because of by chance. It is because of our actions from the past, this life and previous life. How we have dealt with our life, and then accordingly we are situated in a certain life, certain family members, everything. Nothing is by chance. Don't look at in a little in span of only few years this lifetime. The life is a summation. Current life is a summation of the previous lives. So that means all together. But only some balance is given. Because if the whole balance is given for each life, then we can't survive because so much pious, impious is there. If everything is given, we cannot sustain ourselves. So that's why for each life, only certain balance is given. But by performing Krishna conscious activities, then the balance, whatever is there still for the next life, that also will be wiped out. If we have that intensity, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Jeta Purusham Param. Then with that intensity is there, fire is there, Krishna conscious fire, then it will burn this life's balance, previous life's balance, all life's balance. Yastru Indra Gopam Atavestra Hosva Karma, Swa Karma, of karma of the individual, not Krishna's, not somebody else's karma, our own karma, of this life and past life. Yastu Indra Gopam, the smallest insect to all the way to Brahma. Everyone has their own karma. Yastru Indra Gopam Atavestra Ahosva Karma, Bandhan Rupam Palavajan Matanoti, Karmani Nirdat Kintucha Bhakti Vajam, Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajan. All the karma will become nirdahati, means completely destroyed, it doesn't even arise again. If the fire is there, some nuclear bombs are there, 15, 20, 100 years, again, things may start again, sprouting up after some time. It doesn't destroy wholly. But the process of bhakti, where the intensity, fire of Krishna consciousness is there, then nirdahati means it will destroy, it will not again sprout up the unwanted desires, unwanted thoughts within the mind, within the heart, it doesn't come again. So that is the result of karman nirdahati kinchuja bhakti bhaja govindamadi purusham. To that personality, that means whatever astrology may say, whatever, everything can be removed. Everything can be changed. That's why astrologer, the good astrologer generally tell to the, because he can only see, he can only predict 70-80%. That especially for devotees, he can only predict to certain extent. Because things will change. His actual Krishna takes personally the charge of devotees. That's why it changes. You cannot predict fully what's going to happen. So that we have to depend on Guru and Krishna. Now, in this case, Madhusudana is used because Lord Krishna has killed Madhu and Kaitava demons before, when Lord Vishnu was sleeping in his Shayana Ekadasi, which we are going through now, 4 months of Chaturmasya period, which is only a fraction of a minute or so for Lord. It's very limited time. So when he was sleeping, uh, yeah, when he was sleeping, that time when Lord Vishnu was sleeping, then this Madhu and Kaitava stole the Vedas from some. That's why when people chant Gayatri, no lips should be moved. No, the thread shouldn't be visible. That's why we cover up under the shirt, under the dhoti, because the demigods or the ghostly beings or some demoniac personalities has some power to take away, use our karma, use our good karma, what we are doing, that they can take away from us and use it for them for the wrong purpose. So that's why we are not supposed to utter when we are chanting Gayatri Mantra. Nobody should hear other than us. Inside we have to chant. Thread should not be visible outside. All these things are there for a certain purpose. So for that reason, anyway, so that time, that's how somehow or the other the Vedas stolen by this Madhu and Kaitav. So that time, Lord Vishnu killed by his Shakti empowered energy from which came from the Lord when he is sleeping. Lord directly kill, but Lord empowered someone to kill. So Madhu and so that's why Madhusudana word is used to kill the ignorant, to remove that disturbance, to remove the lamentation. So that is the main purpose of this. Now how do we remove the ignorance and lamentation? That is the important point. So Lord Krishna is instructing Uddhava in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that one must, just like, and gives example also. Yada prasrayamanasya bhagavantam vibhavasum Sitam Bayam Tamopyeti Sadhu Samsevatastada. Just as the Sita means cold, Bayam means fear, Tama means darkness or ignorance. Just like the cold, fear, darkness are eradicated for one who has taken shelter of Vibhavasum, means fire. One who has approached sacrificial fire, automatically no more fear of darkness or ignorance is removed. Same way, one who is Yata Manasya Bhagavantam Vibhavasu. Same way, one who is approaching the Lord by through his represent sadhu samsevadastada, fully with heart and soul. Samseva means samyak rupa, completely, not so externally. He has asked, I will do mechanically, but no, with heart and really your love is genuinely you want to do, want to follow, you want to serve. So by that process, automatically the our ignorance, our lamentation, our darkness is removed. Further, Lord also instructs on that point further that one must give up the unwanted association. That also, or or whatever situations which are causing us to taking us away from the Lord, we should try to minimize it. It's not always possible. That's why we have to seek the guidance, and we have to seek the we have to pray. We have to sincerely take the mercy from the Lord and His representative. So that's why he's instructing on the same point to Uddhava further. Tato dussangam ustrijya sadhu sajjeta buddhiman. Buddhiman, one who is intelligent. Satsu means devotees. Sajjeta, one must take up. Hmm. Santa evasya chindanti manovyasanga muktivi. The mind is the biggest culprit. Mind is the one why Arjuna is being bewildered. Mind has caused. Mind supposed to be subdued by intelligence. Intelligence supposed to be sharpened. But now in this case, intelligence is subdued. Mind is in the forefront. Mind is bringing unwanted thoughts. Mind is bringing the ignorance and lamentation and bringing the bodily identity. That's why identity crisis. Real identity means you peel the onion, only the last bit is left, no more you can peel. So same way that means our real identity is Jivya Sarupa Nitya Krishna, our core identity. He forgot that identity, but is covered with layers of this father, mother, and different duties. Is wearing different hats. All those identities is reminded by, and immediately became frustrated and he became ignorant. He became lamented. That's why his tears are flowing. When will tears will come? One is in the case of spiritual ecstasy. One is in the case of excitement, material or spiritual both. When the material fear, loss of life, that's when the tears will come. You can't, sometimes it's so intense, we can't tolerate, then we can only cry. Automatically, body goes into that, mind goes into that. Automatically, the subtle body cannot tolerate. Immediately, we go into, we cry. So that intensity of the situation sometimes. So the Arjuna also became like that by seeing he was so much because especially Bhishma and Drona are like his teachers, very close, very close. Even though they are on the opposite side, that's why he became so depressed. So that's why your Lord is instructing Uddhava that Dussangam means unwanted. Dussangam is interesting here. Dussangam doesn't mean that only people think like that, but that's why the last line is also important. Mano vyasang muktivi. Mano means mind. So intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association. Bad association, not just only people, but also the mind. Who we are is what our mind is thinking. Even though we might be in the temple, we might be in front of the altar, in the home or in front of the temple or in the holy place. If mind is still thinking unwanted things, then whatever that mind is in, that's where we are. We are not in holy place. We are not in temple anymore. So that's whatever mind is putting us in that condition, that's what we are. So that is the dusanga. The mind also has to be purified. We have to cut the thoughts of the mind. How will we do? That is why here Krishna is instructing that tato dusangam ustrijya sastu sajjeda buddhiman santa evasya chindanti. They cut. Who will cut? The pure devotees of the Lord cut these unwanted thoughts, impurities, the dirtiness, Hridaya Daurbalyam. Well, next week class we'll discuss. Hridaya Daurbalyam has great detail. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains what is the weakness of the heart means and how it can be removed. Weakness of the heart. So that Bhaktivinoda Thakur elaborately explained. So the manovyasam mukti. So here Lord Krishna is speaking to Uddhava that how one can cut. Chindanti means cutting. Who will cut? Only Santa. Means devotees can cut these unwanted knots in the mind of the previous actions, previous lifetimes, and this life. The unwanted desires are there, and impurities are there, dirtiness, ignorance. You call it in different ways. It's the same thing. Basically, it's all causing the root of sin, root of unwanted activities, impurities, all because of ignorance only. So that's why repeatedly has been called out. Unless we receive transcendental knowledge regularly, daily, actually, then only the intelligence has to be really sharpened regular basis until we come to that fixed up. Still, the pure devotees are always, every day, they are hearing the glory. So that's why here Lord Krishna is clearly stressing that one must take up the association of saintly devotees whose words cut off the excessive attachment of one's mind. Same Kunti Maharani is also saying that Yasyam vai Struyamananam Bhakti Krishne Parama Purushe Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsa Soka Moha Bhaya. The lamentation, the illusion, fear by simply giving oral reception to the Vedic literature. Let's say in the Gopis verse in Gopi Geet, or in yesterday we were reciting, I think, or in Aila Geet, I think Gopi Geet only, or Renu Geet. One of the verse Gopis are saying, Oh Lord Krishna, we want to hear your topics. your oral reception of your transcendental glories, your glories. We want our use our ears in such a way that the transcendental message that it should become like a nest of a bird. The ear should become a nest of a bird where nothing else goes in. It only goes, but the gopis are hearing such that as soon as they hear the flute sound of Krishna, they can't hear anything else. Nothing else they can hear. Even though so many things are going around in the where they're all family members. The gopis are all not individual. They're all married. They're all that situation is like that. Some of them are Nitya Siddhas, you do coming from the spiritual world. Some of them are from the Lord Ramachandra Leela. Some of them are sages. They were so much attracted by Lord Ramachandra. They want to be in the Asura. They want to marry. Lord said, no, Ekapatni, not possible now. Next life, when I appear as Krishna, that time you can do. So then they became, some of them became gopis, Dandakaranya, sages, like that. Some are became perfected through their sadhana siddha and then krupa siddhi by the mercy of pure devotees. Like that, there are various grades. Gopis within the gopi, there are various grades. So they are all there. They are saying that Lord Krishna, we want to hear. We want to. Our ears are like a nest, bird's nest, where nothing can goes in. It is covered. Ear doesn't have space to hear any other thing other than Lord Krishna's transcendental message. The topics of the Lord Krishna. They are so much intense, rapt attention, so alert to not allow anything else, any other words. So that's how in Gopi Gita or Venu Gita, the gopis are describing the hearing of the. So that's why here Yasyam vai Sruyamananam Krishne Param Purushe. By hearing, then automatically Soka Moha Bhayapaha. So it will naturally remove, extinguish the fire of lamentation. This is the same thing further also instructed by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj in a canto of liberation, ninth canto. Each canto represents something. So this is the ninth canto where Lord Ramachandra Leela is also described, where it is called liberation. So there Sukadeva Goswami is describing how one can be liberated from this conditioning of lamentation, illusion, fear. There also the instruction is there. Kalo janisya mananam dukkha soka tamomudam anugrahaya bhaktanam Supunyam Vyatano Desha. Kalau, in Kali Yuga, specifically in Kali Yuga, Janishamanam, all the living entities can take the mercy of the Lord and remove their dukkha, distress, anxiety, soka, lamentation, and tamo, ignorance, tamo. How? Anugrahaya Bhaktana, where Lord has given causeless mercy by giving Supunyam Vyatano Desha, as per by giving Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the form of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, by taking the shelter of the Lord in the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, regularly reading, regularly hearing, then they can automatically come to the pure state of consciousness. To show causeless mercy to the devotees who would take birth in future in this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, acted in such a way that simply by remembering him, one will be freed from all the lamentation and unhappiness of material existence. In other words, he acted so that all future devotees, by accepting the instruction of Krishna consciousness stated in Bhagavad Gita, could be relieved from the fangs of material existence. So, further instruction in the same canto. Yasmin sat karna piyushe yasas tirtha vase sakrut srotranjalir upasprasya dunute karma vasana. Karma vasana, same thing. Because of karma vasana only mind is bringing. Why mind is bringing? This morning also we are discussing very famous important verse of Lord Kapil Dev. Lord Kapila is the one who enunciated elaborately described Sankhya Yoga. What we are getting in Bhagavad Gita is only limited teeny portion. But in Canto Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Lord himself appears as Lord Vishnu in the form of Lord Kapila, who established this Sankhya Yoga in great detail, end to end. Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there, Lord Kapila is instructing how one can remove these unwanted desires. And same thing is being described. Prasangam ajaram pasam atmano kavayo vidu sayeva sadhu sukrutu mokshadvaram apavatam. Only way one can remove the mind's unwanted intentions, dirtiness, and desires from the past lives and this life is only way by taking the shelter of the pure devotees, sadhus, who are themselves are fully intense in Krishna consciousness, in their own life, in their own practice. That's how we know whom we should listen, whom we should take shelter of, whom we should take guidance, whom we should hear. All these things are there is based on their practice. It is not based on their appearance. Many people get attracted by appearance. No, external appearance is nothing. Is internally how they are situated and how they are practicing is the most important thing. The Vyasdev, when he is writing Srimad Bhagavatam, when he is writing only when he was complete in absorption in samadhi, bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale mayancha tad apashrayam. When he is completely in samadhi, he is able to see Lord Krishna face to face. He is the Sekta Avatar empowered. He is Jiva though. He is not a Lord Vishnu. He is Jiva. Jiva is being empowered by Lord to write transcendental literature. He is called Vyasdev. So he is able to see Lord Krishna face to face. And then on the back side also is external energy, how it is working. When he received the mercy from Narada Muni and he followed his instruction how to meditate, and then because without taking shelter of the Lord and spiritual master, no one can write. Vyasdev has written so many Vedas, Upanishads, all these things, but he couldn't write Srimad Bhagavatam at that time unless he received the mercy from the Narada Muni and then followed the instruction. Then he meditated on the Lord. Then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. Same thing with Valmiki Muni also. When did he write Ramayana? 60,000 years of meditation. Not easy because he was in Satyuga. So later on, it was a while when Treta Ramayana was written. But this is the and Valmiki, again Narada Muni is the spiritual master for Valmiki. Brogari Hunter became Valmiki by his instruction. So that's why everything we will see here also. So the Prasangam Ajaram Pasam. That Jara means here it becomes digested. Everything become finished. Our beauty, our youth, our wealth, our opulence, our father, grandfather, everybody has to go someday or the other. No one can stay in this world long time. So, Kshine Punya Mattiloka Vesanti, Lord Brahma or Indra, doesn't matter. Every one of them has to give up this body and take another body. Whether continue to perform material body or spiritual, that we have to decide. It depends what activity we perform. So that's why Lord is instructing. Prasang Ajaram means this Kalana Jirna, Vayasana Jirna, Trishna Na Jirna. Everything will be digested, everything will be finished in this life, temporary life. But one thing doesn't finish. The what desire we have in the mind, it doesn't digest. It doesn't go away. When the gross body is finished, the desires are still there. Trishna Na Jirna. Everything else is Jirna, everything finished in this life. But when the mind is carrying, the subtle body means mind into the false ego that carries from this life, goes to the next life and continues on. So that's why mind is bringing from not just today, how we act, how we are situated, how mind is giving so many disturbances is because of the how mind is being put into situation, our mind is being practiced, how the gross body, subtle body, how our indriyas, how what kind of activities we have performed. The mind is the framework. Mind is like antenna for the TV. TV means our gross body. Mind is the forefront. It is bringing all the thoughts together in the front face. Immediately we get agitated as soon as we see things or as soon as we hear things because already the previous impressions are there. Mind is bringing that impression to the forefront. Just like on the cell phone, you get alert, notification, some message, or like on the computer, you get email or whatever notification like that. So it is like that mind is popping up these messages. As soon as you are seeing something or hearing something, immediately mind is being because of the previous thoughts. But if the mind is subdued by the association of you, this can only be done because they have the sharp sword to cut these knots. That's why prasangam ajaram pasam. These unwanted thoughts, those also can be removed by sayeva sadhu sukrutu. Sayeva sadhu sukrutu. Moksha dvaram apavratam. Then when the mind is being purified, mind is being cut, removed these unwanted thoughts, then any living practitioner good to go. Mind is the biggest obstacle on the path of devotion service, the unwanted impurities. So that's what Arjuna is good. That's why the lamentation, ignorance, this situation is there. That's why Lord Krishna is great. That's why he's chastising. Immediately chastising. First thing is Till now, Krishna didn't speak, utter a single word. Neither Arjuna surrendered till now. He really didn't, because Krishna cannot, as a friend to friend, you can speak for so long. Not great instruction may not come unless you really surrendered. You really submit. I really want your guidance. Can you tell me how I can come out of this, how I can solve this problem? Then only somebody can give. Especially Lord Krishna will not force anybody. He will only give guidance if you really want his surrender to him and you are asking for his instruction. Then only you will guide. Now that point is coming up because he is put in that situation that he has no choice. He doesn't see in this world anybody who can solve his problem. The perplexities, the ignorance, the difficulties, what duty he should do, whether he should fight or announce or something else he has to do. He doesn't know. So that only who can solve, not Bhishma, not Karna, not Drona, nobody else on the battlefield, but only Lord Krishna. So that's why he surrenders in this particular section later on. So, but before that, he didn't surrender. So that's it. Still something is lingering in his heart. He should have surrendered by now. When somebody is put into ignorance, somebody is really tears are flowing. Asru Purna Kuleksham Visidantam Vedam Vakam. You should have surrendered by now. But still he is speaking. He is still giving reasons more. That means still he is not really in the lowest level. He is not feeling helpless. When somebody really feeling helpless, then he has no choice. That time definitely he will surrender. Until that point, nobody wants to surrender. Everybody wants to think he's a master. I can do great things. I can solve my own problem. I don't need anybody's guidance. The same thing Arjuna is also showing. Till now, he didn't take any surrender. He didn't take instruction from Lord Krishna. That's why, in order for Krishna to bring Arjuna to that point, immediately chastises. That Kotastha, Sri Bhagavan was Kotastha Kasmalam Idam. How did this impotence come upon you? You are supposed to be Aryan. Kotastha Kasmalam Idam. Anarya Dustam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Aryan means one who knows the self-realization, path of self-realization. One who knows the progress of life. But Anarya means one who doesn't know what is the end goal, what is the progress of life. One who's thinking that enjoyment is life. That is what he's looking at the life means. I want to somehow enjoy this life, and then maybe at the most, then I want to go to heavenly planets, enjoy there also. This is only they are thinking. This is Anarya. Let's say Anarya Justam Asvargyam. Even if you have this kind of thought, forget about heavenly, you cannot even go there. Because you are rejecting even duty. If you don't even perform duty, how you will go to heavenly planets even? That is not possible either. Because each and every Varna and Ashram Kshatri, you are supposed to perform your duty at least. Then only you can go to heavenly planets. One who doesn't run away from the problem duty, then he cannot even go there. So that's why he immediately chastising. Kotasto kasmalamidam anarya justam asvargyam. He will go to hell, not heaven planets. Asvargam akirtikaram Arjuna. It brings infamy. So that's why Lord Krishna is instructing here, and then further chastisement. Basically, Lord wants it is chastisement is to induce him to fight, induce him to come to that level. He will take surrender. After Lord Krishna chastising him, one thing he wants to do is induce him to fight. Second thing he wants him to do is you fight, but on what cost? On his instructions, not by his own strength. If Arjuna would have fought by himself, that is not bhakti. Bhakti, when it becomes bhakti, when somebody is acting on behalf of Guru and Krishna, that is bhakti. Otherwise, it is not bhakti. Bhakti is not dependent on Guru and Krishna. Bhakti is not independent of Guru and Krishna. That we have to clearly see the difference. Otherwise, many people are opening hospitals and doing so many work, but they are not interested. They are not following the sadhu, Guru, or Krishna. They are not doing it for Krishna. That is why it is called Bhagavat Arpita Nishkama Karma. It is not ordinary Nishkam. Nishkam means without looking attached to the result. People they may have money, they are nice, well situated. They are not looking for anything in result. They just want help people. That is not bhakti. That's why gradually Krishna is bringing Sankhya Yoga, then Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, then Bhakti. Because unless you come to the point of Nishkama Karma, that means you are not attached to result, then only Bhakti can be introduced. Then only you can get some glimpse of Bhakti. Otherwise, no point. No, you cannot even understand what actually Bhakti means. How you can get pleasure. It just doesn't even give that. inclination to do. It doesn't even give us the taste for that. Because even the whatever we hear, it doesn't sink into the heart because we have to come to that adhikar, jnanadhikar. When it will come, when you perform without attaching results, then we come from karmadhikar to jnanadhikar. When we are situated in jnanadhikar, then the knowledge what we are receiving will start sinking into the heart. Then we will be easy to execute devotion. Until that point, it becomes something as a mechanical, something as a theory. It doesn't practically come to the practical platform. It doesn't act, it doesn't lead into action, as we were discussing earlier. Chapter one is describing the material motivation of the Dhritarashtra bringing into material action in the form of his son Duryodhana. Because when the motivation is material, what will action will do? The same action will come. Material action only will happen. It cannot you cannot bring to spiritual action. So that's why the motivation. What is the motivation? You are attached to results. That's what. If somebody is motivated to work, why? He wants promotion. He wants money. And so why people are going to job or business? Their results are attached. They are attached to results. But in bhakti, that is not the case. They are not attached to results. They are not attached to results. They are only interested in to please Guru and Krishna without attachment to the results. They only want to please Guru and that is what bhakti means. So that's why Krishna is saying here in this third verse also that Klaibyam mama gama parda naita tvai upapadyate. Get up, give up this petty weakness. This is causing great trouble to you. Naitam tvai upapadyate Shudram Hriday Daurpalyam Tekto Tishta Parantapa. You are Parantapa, you are the chastiser of the enemies. What has happened to you? You are Gandhi above, wielder of Gandhi above. You have given so many words before that I have Gandhi above. I can fight, I can kill. So I'm the great warrior. But how did these impurities come upon you? You're not acting like Aryan. You're not acting even like a Kshatriya. You completely lost your progress and purpose of life, and this is not at all befitting you. Sometimes we have to be corrected and chastised and induced by our superiors, by our parents, by our grandparents, by our guardians, by our teachers. These are the real, genuine teacher, genuine parent is always looking for the welfare of the student, welfare of the children. So that's how we should take. If somebody is chastising for the with real intention for our progress, then we should take it in the right spirit. Even though it may look a little bit difficult to take it as a chastisement, but we should take it in a positive spirit because this is for our own good. So that's why Lord Krishna is doing. Even though it looks in front of the whole 64 battlefield, Kurukshetra, so many people are there. Lord Krishna is chastising right in front. If you are in that situation, you can take it. That's why Lord Guru doesn't chastise anybody and everybody. Guru will chastise for those who can take it. Who is in the humble position, they will only, Guru only chastise like that. Otherwise, Guru will speak in the big class in front of the audience. He may not point out the person, but he will speak. The point is communicated. It doesn't go directly because he cannot tolerate. If he speak directly one on one, if he says something, then he cannot even take it. So that's how much conditioned the practitioner, the soul, the ignorant soul is. So that's why sometimes the Guru does that, and Lord also does that. So, but in this case, Arjuna is in right situation, even though he's showing ignorance, but he's rightly situated. He can take the chastisement. So he has that qualities. That's why in chapter one that also Prabhupada explains that he is compassionate in one sense because he is a devotee, soft-heartedness has come. So he doesn't want to kill anybody. He doesn't want to do any fight because because he's a devotee. He is seeing that soft-heartedness is crying in that level also. So it doesn't. This vision doesn't happen for those who are materially looking for wealth, looking for some or the other push others down and want to go up. So that's why here Lord Krishna is basically indicating and inducing him to fight, bringing him to the duty. Because without duty, performing duty and not being attached, then he cannot progress. He cannot give up his fear, he cannot give up illusion, lamentation. So, so that is the main instruction from this particular section. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing that one way to also, this is the instruction for Kali Yuga anyway. काईते सुईते यथा तथा नाम लोई काल देश नियम nahi sarva siddhi hoy. Regardless of time or place, one who chants the holy name even while eating or sleeping attains all perfection. So, that is so that otherwise that's why Lord Arjuna is here. So put into this condition so that this particular instruction of this self-realization of the Sankhya Yoga or Nishkama Karma Yoga, all these sections, section by section, Arjuna, this knowledge, transcendental knowledge, Lord Krishna can give, so that everybody can be enlightened, not just Arjuna. It is for benefit of all. Arjuna has been put in. Benefit of all, Parikshit Maharaj is put into the. So the Sukadev Goswami can speak Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the main point. So the Asvargya means the aim of human life should be to make progress. That is what is called Arya. That is progressive march. But we have received this human form of body, then we should be looking for to attain the beyond this material world. Otherwise, people are looking for Urdham Gacchant Satvasta. He wants to go to heavenly planet, higher planet, up to Brahma Loka. Or one who is there is a mode of goodness, then all they can go to the higher planet. If somebody is performing passionate activity, they will be situated in earthly planet again and again. They will come to earthly planet. Madhye Gachanti Rajasa or Jaganna Gunavarjan Adho Gachantam. So one who is performing always realized against Shastra, then they will have to take up lower species of life, not even human birth, and even lower planets below the earthly planet. They cannot even take up. There, where sun is itself is not there. Sun, even though sun is there, sun for the whole universe only one sun is there, but sun doesn't even give its light below earthly planet. The light is coming from their snake jewels and other things for the below planet. Below six planetary system, Atala, Vitala, Talatal, Rasatal, Mahital, Patal, no sun goes down. Sun only goes till earthly planet and above all the planets, but not downward planet. That means so much grossly ignorance. Ignorance is further even more. So sometimes the living entities goes to the downward planet also because of their simple activities. So we should. That's why we have to take it up very seriously. This human form of life, especially in Kali Yuga, more mercy is given by seeing our condition. Very difficult to progress or follow or do anything in spiritual life. So that's why mercy is easily given by simply chanting the holy name, by hearing, by doing some service. We can actually purify ourselves. So that's why the Arya means to make progress in the spiritual life, at the same time engaging in our activities, daily duties, or nitya karma. That also Krishna elaborately gives what is duty means, what is action means. We have questions that Krishna will answer it gradually. So in the later sections of this chapter, so that it's everything is clear. So let's see. I think a lot of questions are there. Why bad karma person like Putana gets Krishna's mercy? Unmute. Don't unmute it. Why bad karma person like Putana gets Krishna's mercy, but devotees who keep trying to please Krishna don't get mercy. So it's how we look at it. Putana obviously is not just in that point. Putana seemingly as a demon, obviously. So we cannot question the Lord when he desires, just like that. When the we have to please, we have to perform activities for pleasing the Lord. When He pleases, then He can. We cannot demand because it's up to Him. Whenever He is pleased, He can give. But it's not based on qualification. It's not based on what action we do. It is based on how much we please Guru and Krishna. That's all. And that's where it depends. How much we are, even though we might be performing bhakti, we have to depend, we have to wait, we have to patiently wait when the mercy will be given. We can keep asking for mercy every day by performing, taking responsibility of doing service and chanting and hearing, but we have to wait. So Putana also had to wait. It's not in the previous lives. So that's why Putana got mercy because obviously she wanted to serve, but it's not just one instance or at that point because of the past life history, what she has done, and Lord Krishna has given the mercy. So, but these are rare situations. By this, we cannot take that. If Putana can get the mercy by just one act, then how can as a devotee we cannot get? So That's why we cannot take just one point, one instance of Putana and then take the mercy. So that is that. And then does Krishna modify our karma in a way to make us move ahead in devotion service and closer to Lord? Yes, obviously. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Lord Krishna will make the point. So he has done to the depends on the person, depends on the power, depends on the capacity. Like for Srila Prabhupada, the Lord has done differently. For Prahlad Maharaj and Sri Prabhupada and Narada Muni, Lord has done differently. For us, for our insignificant souls like us, the Lord will not do those situations. Like for Prabhupada, he has taken away business, nothing was working for him. That is easy, that because to bring him even higher and higher level and to glorify him. For Prahlad Maharaj also is put into that. If we get into those, if we are put into, we cannot even tolerate. We cannot even move an inch. Even 1 minute, we cannot tolerate that situation. So whatever capacity we have, accordingly, Lord will give arrangement, situations. But Lord is giving the situation for us to take shelter of Him more. That is what each and every situation, even though negative situations, seemingly some health or job or whatever the situation may be, family, depending on whatever the case. In each of these situations, we have to see as our own karma is causing, first of all, that is the cause of the difficulty. And then we have to see also it is giving a inclination or opportunity for me to take shelter of the Lord more, shelter of the holy name more, shelter of a sadhu more, Lord's representative. By that process, then we become more and more close to the Lord. Kunti Maharani, what is she praying? Again and again, bring me the difficulties so that I can think of you, I can remember you, I can take shelter of you. That means no more material body. I will attain spiritual body. No more difficulties, no more any distress, because I am always thinking of you. Because of difficulty, if there is no difficulty, I am thinking something else. This material enjoyment is all in all. So that's how Kunti Maharani is praying. Obviously, she has exalted position, but we are not in that position. But at least we should take it both ways. It's our karma which is causing, but this will help when we are in the association of devotees. It will help easily. We can go through the situation. If you are alone, it will be very difficult. If somebody who is alone, no guidance, no association of devotees, it will be very difficult to go through anything. Even material problems or spiritual problems, both. It will be very difficult to deal with because we have no way to share. It will become like a volcano. It will erupt like a volcano when the problems come. Then you have no one to share, and we cry and we become depressed, and anxiety mount up and up and up, and it's not good. So that's why we should be always in the association of devotees. So then we can share it out, we can share confidentially, and then it will help us to be rightly situated, to rightly situated, and then see the positive side of the situation, not just see the negative side of the situation. So is it true that if we eat leftover of Maharaj, our karma gets dissolved? Yes. Mahaprasad, Bhakta Bhukti, Pada Duli, Avasesha. Avasesha means anything, remnants of the Mahaprasad of the Lord and Lord's sadhus. That's why it's called Mahaprasad. That is one thing. Rectify our sinful activities, removes, depending on with what absorption we have taken. Again, that also. It's not that theoretically we have that, but mentally and spiritually, that submission is not there. You are taking remnant from some Maharaj, some Sadhu, some Mahajana. Because you have heard that will remove sinful activity. You are taking it. But really the intention, the heart submission is not there to that personality. Then the reaction, the purification is there, but not to the highest level. So that's why it depends. For Narada Muni, immediate reaction, immediately he got purified. As soon as he tasted and as soon as he heard from Bhakti Vedanta, only one time, 4 months they were there, that's all he got. No other association, only 4 months. He didn't have any other association, any other devotee, no one in the life. But he could get to the highest attainment. That's why it depends. Both sides, the spiritual master, the person who is Mahajana, and also the receiver. Both sides. Like Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, they are both. The fire is there, fire of Krishna. Narada Muni and Bhakti, fire is there. Prahlad Maharaj, Narada Muni, same thing. So we see that both sides it has to be there. That's why the reception, the submission, the alertness. This is what is again and again called out in different words. in these life history of these personalities. So that's where it depends how much degree it purifies us, how much degree it takes away sinful reactions. When we taste the remnants, Uchchasta Lepan Anumojito Vide Sakrutsma Apasta Kilbishai. Uh, yeah, Apasta Kilbishai. Automatically sinful activity will be removed. As soon as I tasted the remnants of this Bhakti Vedantis, my sinful action has been removed. Narada Muni himself is saying. This is in Canto 1, Chapter 5, verse number 25 or so. Yeah, somewhere around that. So that's the verse Narada Muni is speaking. Not just once, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see Kalidas tasted the remnants of devotees. Because he was so attached to serve the devotees, take the remnant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally called his servant Govinda, give my Mahaprasad to him, Kalidas. Because he was so much, Mahaprabhu was very pleased. Oh, seeing how much he is eager to serve my devotees, eager to serve. He used to go and serve. He used to give mangoes, he used to give different fruits, and he used to ask their remnants. Obviously, no devotee, no devotee who's qualified, who's situated rightly, he'll never give his Maha. Guru will give because Guru is only in that, where they are seeing you are very, you want mercy and then they are seeing and then they may give. But in general, devotee will not give their mercy. Even some many Maharaj will not give their Maha to even to their disciples also. They will finish everything. On plate, nothing will be left. It's not so easy to get sometimes, many times Maha also. But those who are very compassionate, they leave it. Prabhupada has done it many times. He left for disciples to take his remnants. So that is sadhu is very compassionate. So yes, yeah, our life can change by these activities of simply taking the association of a sadhu and taking the remnants of a sadhu. It doesn't mean that you go to attend Sunday feast and you start taking remnants of others. No, that Prabhupada said no. You should not do that. You are supposed to take only from the sadhus who are spiritual masters, advanced devotees, Mahajanas. So those we should at least take, not from anybody and everybody. Yes, they may be devotees. We are not Kalidas. Kalidas is at higher level. He can take from devotees. He went to Jadu Thakur, who was externally is a low family, low background. He was a Brahmana, though. As he went to serve him, he gave mangoes, he wanted to taste from it. But that's how his position is different. We are not at that level. We are not situated like Kalidas. We are not attached so much to the Lord or the devotees. So that's we cannot imitate his activities and take remnants from any devotee. That is not the instruction. So yeah. Any other questions anybody else has?